Here are 25 most commonly asked technical team lead interview questions, along with detailed and logical answers. These will help you prepare for a final round technical team lead interview, focusing on both technical and leadership capabilities. 1. Can you describe your leadership style? Answer: I prioritize understanding my team's strengths and weaknesses, providing support where needed, and fostering ownership. I lead by example, motivate the team through a shared vision, and encourage continuous learning. I also adapt based on the team's maturity. Hands off when needed, hands off when empowered. My leadership style is a blend of servant leadership and transformational leadership. 2. How do you manage a team with mixed skill levels? Answer: Then, I bring them together for a transparent conversation, focusing on facts, not blame. I clarify roles and expectations, and, if needed, adjust responsibilities. The goal is to restore collaboration and trust, not win arguments, okay? I start by assessing each team member's strengths, goals, and gaps. For junior developers, I assign mentor buddies and simpler tasks with learning opportunities. For seniors, I involve them in architecture and code reviews. I conduct pair programming sessions, regular one south, and ensure every task matches skill growth needs. Cross-learning is encouraged via knowledge-sharing sessions. 3. How do you handle conflicts in your team? Answer: I guide them through code reviews, explain design patterns, and encourage asking questions. I also share curated learning resources and encourage them to present what they learn to others, boosting their confidence. I believe in early intervention and active listening. First, I speak to individuals privately to understand both perspectives without bias. I define clear outcomes, give autonomy, and stay available for support. I use tools like Jira for visibility and ensure regular status updates. I avoid micromanagement, but ensure accountability through check-ins. I also organize regular refactoring and tech debt sessions. More than tools, I promote a culture of peer accountability and pride in clean code. 4. How do you ensure code quality across your team? Answer: I communicate transparently with stakeholders, reset expectations if needed, and reorganize priorities. I involve the team in solution brainstorming, break tasks into manageable chunks, and often bring in additional help or reduce scope to hit deadlines. I gathered requirements, designed the architecture using a microservices approach, set up CI/CD, assigned tasks via agile sprints, and held daily stand-ups. I ensured cross-functional collaboration with QA, DevOps, and stakeholders. I also experiment with new tools in side projects and encourage the team to share new learnings during tech huddles. The project was delivered 2 weeks early, 15% under budget, and is still in use today. I also assess collaboration, learning progress, and proactive problem solving. I avoid using only numeric metrics. Context matters. For example, helping others or refactoring often doesn't reflect in story points, but is highly valuable. I implement coding standards, enforce code reviews, introduce linting tools, and unit integration test coverage thresholds. We follow a CI/CD pipeline with automated tests. 5. Describe a time you led a project from scratch. Answer: I led the development of an internal ticketing system. 6. How do you mentor junior developers? Answer: I pair them with senior mentors, assign progressive tasks, and do weekly learning check-ins. 7. What is your approach to task delegation? Answer: I delegate based on skill match, growth opportunities, and project priority. 8. How do you handle a failing project? Answer: I start with a root cause analysis. Is it a scope issue, technical challenge, or team burnout? 9. What metrics do you use to evaluate your team's performance? Answer: I look at code quality, velocity, task completion rate, test coverage, and team satisfaction. 10. How do you stay updated with the latest tech trends? Answer: I regularly read engineering blogs, attend meetups, webinars, and follow industry leaders on LinkedIn, Twitter. 11. What's your experience with Agile or Scrum? Answer: I've led teams using Scrum and Kanban. I conduct daily stand-ups, sprint planning, retrospectives, and use Jira for sprint tracking. I focus on empowering the team to commit realistically, keep VIP limits low, and track burn-down charts. I also coach stakeholders on agile practices to improve collaboration. I practice risk mitigation early, reduce scope when needed, and ensure blockers are resolved quickly. Constant communication with stakeholders helps adjust timelines if needed. 12. How do you ensure timely delivery? Answer: I evaluate trade-offs, consider performance, security, and deployment complexity, and involve the team in decision-making. I also document decisions and ensure architectural consistency. I break tasks into small units, estimate with the team using story points, buffer for unknowns, and monitor progress via burn-down charts. 13. Describe your involvement in architectural decisions. Answer: As a lead, I work with architects to design scalable, modular, and maintainable systems. The rest is spent in reviews, mentoring, planning, and unblockings. During critical releases, I go full hands-on if needed. I believe coding helps me stay credible and connected to technical challenges. I've also worked with Azure, Docker, Redis, and RabbitMe. I'm flexible and have led teams in React, Node, JS, and Java-based stacks as well. 14. How do you balance hands-on coding with leadership? Then, I communicate transparently with stakeholders, adjust future planning, and ensure learnings are implemented. Answer: I dedicate 30 to 40% of my time to coding, usually core or complex modules? 15. What tech stack are you most comfortable with? I use transparent sprint reports and proactively share risks or delays. I give constructive, respectful feedback, often using inline comments and explaining the why. I balance review depth based on the complexity. Critical code gets deeper reviews. I also encourage peer reviews to build trust and shared understanding. I ask questions to clarify their priorities and offer technical options with trade-offs. Answer: I'm strongest in .NET Core, Angular, MSS, QL, and Entity Framework. I prioritize based on impact. If it affects performance, scalability, or onboarding speed, it comes first. I also do debt days where the team tackles long-pending cleanups. 16. How do you approach technical debt? Answer: I check in personally on their goals and challenges. I also rotate responsibilities, give autonomy, and avoid burnout by managing workload carefully. I log tech debt visibly in Jira, tag it clearly, and allocate time every sprint for debt reduction. I profiled queries using SQL Profiler, added proper indexing, refactored the ORM usage, and moved heavy calculations to background jobs. We improved response time from 7 south to 500 milliseconds. 17. What do you do if your team misses a deadline? The team estimates using story points and planning poker, considering complexity, risks, and unknowns. I guide them using historical velocity. I also split spikes for research-heavy stories. We re-estimate if scope changes mid-sprint. Answer: when there was no progress, I worked with HR for a graceful exit. I handled the conversation with empathy and clarity, ensured documentation, and helped them transition respectfully. The rest of the team was informed subtly to avoid speculation. I also explain the team's culture, values, and expectations. A good lead balances hands-on expertise, decision-making, communication, and mentorship. They unblock the team, remove noise, and create a safe and productive environment. I check in regularly in the first 4 weeks and encourage questions without judgment. First, I conduct a blameless post-mortem. I understand what went wrong: bad estimation, unclear requirements, or unexpected blockers. Answer: I engage them early, define clear requirements and success criteria, and give regular demos. 19. What's your process for reviewing code? Answer: I check for logic, readability, consistency, performance, and security. 20. How do you keep your team motivated? Answer: I celebrate small wins, give public recognition, ensure tasks are meaningful, and support their growth. 21. Have you ever had to let someone go? How did you handle it? Answer: yes. Unfortunately, I first ensured they had clear feedback, support, and time to improve. 22. How do you onboard a new team member? Answer: I prepare documentation, give them a buddy, assign small starter tasks, and walk them through the codebase and tools. 23. What's the biggest technical challenge you've faced recently? Answer: we faced performance bottlenecks due to unoptimized database queries in a high-traffic module. 24. How do you plan and estimate work? Answer: we break features into epics and user stories. 25. What do you think is the most important trait of a tech lead? Answer: the most important trait is technical empathy, understanding both the business and tech sides while caring about people.